Hello everybody, this is The Pocket Pastor, and I am your host, Randy White. I hope all of you are having a fantastic day. I know I am. I'm very excited to introduce to all of you the new setup I have here. This is the first video coming out with this new setup, and then I've got some mad videos coming out, more on that later. But for now, let's get into some of the major bits of news heading into tomorrow being Sunday. It is Saturday, December 2nd, and it's going to be a great day. So first up on news, the Browns signed Joe Flacco earlier in the week, and now he is set to start this game this week against the Rams. So big development there. DTR was ruled out. Browns in need of quarterback play, a veteran that maybe can know the offense, deliver some accurate balls, and make some good decisions to kind of be a game manager with that great Cleveland defense and that great Cleveland run game. So the Browns, honestly, a good move to bring in Joe Flacco. They should be set up nicely there. Now, Joe Flacco is, of course, last we saw, quite washed, not close to the former Super Bowl champion that he once was. But I think his veteran leadership could bring something positive to the team. So, good signing there. Jets and Adrian Amos mutually agreed to part ways. A whole lot of disastrous things happening over there in New York. It's just pure chaos with the Jets. Aaron Rodgers, of course, is now practicing with the team, hoping to kind of provide a spark, I think, but there doesn't seem to be much of a reason for him to come back thanks to his injury. And last bit of news, Lions standout linebacker Alex Anzalone is injured and is ruled out with his hand injury. Will not be playing against the Saints. Definitely a player I think they will be missing. It'd be nice for them to have him on the team. All right, let's get into the remainder of the episode. We've got the MVP frontrunners. In my opinion, Dak Prescott is very much so in the MVP conversation. A lot of people want to hate on him because he's a Cowboy, and it's very easy to just hate on the guy because he's a Cowboy. Whatever, I get it. But you guys have to consider the season he's having. He's been phenomenal. Let's take a look at his stats real quick. So guys, on the season, Dak has thrown for a 70.1% completion percentage, over 3,200 yards, 26 touchdowns, and 6 picks. He's playing terrific football. He just let a comeback win against a team with a winning record on Thursday. He's got his team with a great chance to compete to win their division. He's played terrific. That team around him has been great. The defense, not so hot against Seattle the past week. 0 punts forced. They came up big, obviously, with 2 fourth down stops in the fourth quarter. But Dak Prescott has got to be in the MVP conversation. Right now, my top 5 MVPs, CJ Stroud moves himself out of the MVP race for me because you have to make the playoffs if you want to win MVP. It's as simple as that. The team that you're on has to have success to win that award. That's just the way it works. So CJ Stroud is not in my top 5 MVPs until the Texans get back in the playoff picture. And if they do, then he's my front runner for MVP. But he can't win MVP with his team out of the playoffs, in my opinion. So my number 1 MVP candidate is Jalen Hurts. They've got the best record in football. He's playing great. Tons of rushing touchdowns. He's just had a huge signature game against the Bills. That's what he was missing for me. He wasn't in my MVP conversation, but he had a phenomenal 5-touchdown second half against the Bills to take the lead, a comeback win over Buffalo, and the Philadelphia right now just has a gauntlet of a schedule playing the San Francisco 49ers this week. It's been a tough go. He's been great. His one horrible game against the Jets and obviously a rough first half against the Bills, but they got it fixed up in that second half. He was terrific and led a comeback overtime victory. So Hurts, in my opinion, has to be in that conversation for MVP. Number 2 is Dak Prescott for me. He's got some of the best stats in the league. He's playing arguably the best football of any quarterback right now in the NFL. I put Stroud at 1 when I made my list going into this week. By the way, those rankings are going to be coming out weekly now for top quarterbacks since the season is winding down. I'm very excited about that. And Dak is just playing phenomenal football. He's got some of the best numbers in the league. He's playing absolutely terrific football. Again, I don't think he's the best quarterback in the league. I think he's playing like arguably the best quarterback in the league right now. There's a difference between those two things, believe it or not. Number three, I got TJ Watt. It's not every day you see a defensive MVP. In fact, it hasn't happened since Lawrence Taylor won it in the 80s. But TJ Watt has been nothing short of incredible all season long. Tied for the lead in sacks. He's got a fumble recovery, a forced fumble, a touchdown, and 6 pass breakups. And that was going into either this week or last week. So I don't know if those numbers are exactly the same now. But I know he is tied for the lead in sacks. I believe tied with Danielle Hunter. Shout out to that man over there in Minnesota who has been an absolute dog for the Minnesota Vikings. He's been phenomenal. But TJ Watt, for me, he's the face of that defense. We've seen the numbers time and time again. When TJ Watt is not playing, that team is not nearly as good. And by the way, Kenny Pickett just dropped a dime. That throw to George Pickens was phenomenal. Number 4, Christian McCaffrey. He is the face. Once again, I talk about the face of an offense. You got Jalen Hurts, who's the face of the Eagles offense. You got Dak Prescott, who has become the face of the Cowboys offense. Used to be the running game back in Dak's younger years. They've leaned on him. He's become the face of that offense. Then you look at the face of the Steelers. It's TJ Watt. You look at the face of the 49ers. Is it Brock Purdy? Is it George Kittle? Is it Trent Williams? You could argue Trent Williams for sure. Deebo Samuel, Nick Bosa. Stars all over the place. But who has made the difference since he got there last year to where we've seen that offense spark? Christian McCaffrey. Obviously, Brock Purdy's important. He's outperformed Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo. Christian McCaffrey is the lifeblood of that offense. We see their productivity when he's on the field. We see it when they're off. There's a reason why their initial plan might have been to kind of use McCaffrey as obviously the number 1 back, but not as a workhorse. Well, he has become a workhorse for San Francisco because they need him for their offense to work. It is that simple. He goes down, their offense fizzles out. They can't make it to the Super Bowl. They will not win enough playoff games to advance to the Super Bowl if he goes down. But if he's healthy, I think they win it all. To be honest with you, he's that important. He is the most important running back to an offense I think I've seen in quite some time. Maybe since I started watching the sport, he might be the most important running back to any given offense. He's phenomenal, and obviously Brock Purdy, they need him to be healthy, and they need Trent Williams to be healthy. There's a couple pieces on there. There's a couple guys you could argue for that number 1. I think it's McCaffrey. And finally, number 5, who's the face of the number 1 offense in the NFL? The number 1 passing offense, the number 1 rushing offense, all the motions, all the creativities. Who allows that offense to have that level of freedom with his speed, his athleticism, his overall skill? Tyreek Hill for the Miami Dolphins, in my opinion, deserves to be in the top 5 for the MVP conversation. He's been unbelievable. He's the reason their offense is able to be as dynamic as it is. Yes, Jalen Waddle's terrific too with his speed, but Tyreek Hill can stretch the field like no other. He's amazing, and he is a huge piece of the productivity of their offense. If you commit to stop him, Jalen Waddle's going to hurt you. Devon Achane's going to hurt you when he gets healthy. Raheem Mostert's going to hurt you. And Tua is terrific, of course, getting to the top of his drop and getting the ball out on rhythm, on time. He reads zone coverage very well. They have their staple concepts in the offense, like that little slant sit, shoot wheel. They love to run out of play action on that trips formation, maybe a running back wheel. A lot of times they like split backfield where they hit him with that play. And that is kind of the bread and butter of that offense. Get guys in space, move guys around, let Tyreek Hill be running at full speed at the snap of the ball. Just loop around guys and get open. They have a very fun, creative offense, and it is made possible by Tyreek Hill. He's amazing, and I think he deserves to be in the MVP conversation. A wide receiver is never going to win MVP, but he deserves to be talked about because of how important he is. All right, now time for me to clarify something. All right, I released my top 10 quarterbacks this season. All right, that's based off of basically me saying if there was an award for best quarterback this year, right, who finishes in first, who finishes in second, and so on. That's not me saying, oh, they're the best quarterback in the league, okay? CJ Stroud's not better than Patrick Mahomes. CJ Stroud's not better than Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, all right, Justin Herbert. So everyone take a deep breath. When I release that ranking that has CJ Stroud at 1, CJ Stroud has arguably the best numbers of any quarterback in the NFL. He's outperformed all of our wildest expectations with a rookie head coach, rookies all over that offense, young talent all over that offense. This is a team that was a Hail Mary from Davis Mills away from getting the number 1 pick. Davis Mills beat the Colts on a Hail Mary and then a 2-point conversion in the closing seconds of their Colts-Texans matchup last year. If they had lost that game on a 4th and 30 Hail Mary, they would have had the number 1 pick. That's where they were at. But instead, here we are a year later, not even, and CJ Stroud has helped completely transform this roster. He's been amazing, or completely transformed this team. He's been a phenomenal leader. All the reports point to that. He's played amazing on the field. His poise and his awareness blows my mind. He plays like a veteran as a rookie. When you see him leave the pocket, he's fully aware of where everyone is, where they're all going to be in scramble drill. He does a great job recognizing coverages, recognizing fronts. He buys time, which was a concern for me. I didn't think he'd be able to buy time as effectively. I didn't think he was some scrambler. Well, he's been an unbelievable improviser in the NFL. When things go wrong and something's not open, or he doesn't see something maybe the way he likes, he does a terrific job getting out of the pocket and making plays. He's been amazing, and he is beating, as I like to say, the Ohio State quarterback allegations. He's playing so far above what any of us could have imagined. He was terrific, and he deserves to be in the MVP conversation if the Texans can make the playoffs. If not, of course, then no. So, yeah, my top 5 quarterbacks right now, guys, CJ Stroud's not in them. Relax, okay? It's Patrick Mahomes, it's Joe Burrow, it's Josh Allen. It's Patrick Mahomes, it's Josh Allen, it's Joe Burrow, it's Justin Herbert, and it's probably Lamar Jackson at 5, okay? There's no CJ Stroud in there. There's no Sam Howell in there. They're playing great football. That doesn't make him the best quarterback in the league. It makes him the best right now. This season, they've played the best. There's a difference. You have to earn that kind of merit over time to be considered actually better than the pros. And obviously, there's reasons why Patrick Mahomes isn't playing as well. His receiving core sucks. Okay, Josh Allen leads the league in turnovers. That's something we haven't seen from him. But this narrative that he's bad because of that is silly. He leads the league in touchdowns. He's got 33 total touchdowns to 18 turnovers. Meanwhile, Lamar Jackson, 18 total touchdowns to 16 turnovers. Lamar is an MVP candidate. Josh Allen's a fraud. Very interesting. Very, very interesting to me that is the way the NFL media likes to look at this. But it's simply not the case. Who would you rather have based off of those stats? Right? I mean, let's be real. This narrative that Josh Allen sucks this year is hilariously bad. Does he have a huge turnover problem? Yeah, he does. That's objectively true. But that doesn't mean he's still not a great player. That doesn't mean he also doesn't lead the league in touchdowns. That'd be like saying because Brett Favre has the most turnovers of all time, that he sucks and he's a bum, even though he also retired with the most touchdowns of all time. Brett Favre is hailed as a legend, a Hall of Famer, and by many a top 10 quarterback in the history of the league. So let's kind of be careful about what kind of narratives we're pushing, when if you watch Bills games, you would understand pretty evidently that it's not on Josh Allen 80% of the time, at least. It really isn't. So let's clean it up a little bit. Bills' defense hasn't been nearly as bad. Let's be real. All right, now I'm going to wrap everything up with my game picks. And then after the game picks, I'm going to be talking to you guys about my new channel that I've started. And it's a gaming channel, so you'll see all of my Madden videos over there from here on out. You will not be seeing them on here. This will be strictly for me talking football. So to get started with the game picks, first game, Colts Titans. I'm going to go ahead and take the Colts. They're playing good football right now. That offense is clicking. Shane Steichen, I really like him as the head coach. I think he's done a terrific job calling the plays, and he's really gotten Gardner Minshew into a groove most weeks. I think he's done a terrific job with Minshew as his quarterback. We saw what he was capable of coaching up when Anthony Richardson was in there. Anthony Richardson looked phenomenal when he was healthy, so we're very excited, obviously, for him to be healthy again next year and see what that offense is capable of. But in the time being, I've been very impressed with Indianapolis and the way Shane Steichen has handled and coached this team. They're playing good football right now. Will Levis is a part of a dysfunctional team. Obviously, he played great early, but this is a Titans team that really just can't seem to get things going consistently. I'm going to take the Colts here in Tennessee. Falcons at the Jets. Jets are spiraling. Hopefully, Aaron Rodgers' return can kind of provide a spark to that locker room, provide some morale. That's not the vibe I get, though. I just feel like they're crumbling. They just let go Adrian Amos. There's some discourse in the locker room, I've heard. They had that players-only meeting to kind of resolve things. Tim Boyle is their quarterback. I know he's a brainiac. I know Rodgers speaks super highly of him. I guess he's got a good mind and he's a hardcore studier, but the product on the field is clearly not there. So I don't know what the Jets want to do. He's clearly worse than Zach Wilson, but we're going to act like Zach Wilson is the scapegoat behind that abysmal offensive line. And by the way, not everything that happened last week was all Tim Boyle's fault. That offensive line, of course, is horrible and they can't stop a nosebleed. So how are they going to stop 300-pound pass rushers from getting to their quarterback? Atlanta, on the other hand, playing good football, just beat the Saints. I don't trust their quarterback play, but I trust most everything else. Jesse Bates is, of course, a phenomenal playmaker, and he made some huge plays last week. I think he is going to be in Tim Boyle's head this week. He's a great player. Falcons should get the win on the road. Lions at Saints. They're without Alex Anzalone. He's a great linebacker. Lions are going to get their bounce back win. They've played horribly the last 2 weeks. Their loss to Green Bay is, as Dan Campbell would like to say, some humble pie. So they're going to get rolling here. The Saints aren't very good. I don't like them. And they're going to drop now 2 games below 500 after they lose to the Lions at home. So Lions getting a road victory to bounce back. Broncos at Texans. These are 2 teams that have played great football in the last month and a half. Denver Broncos have the best win streak in football, but those win streaks have typically come to an end for 5-game win streak teams. I'm going to expect the same thing to happen here. Houston's going to bounce back from their loss to Jacksonville last week. They're going to get things rolling. Their defense is going to show out. DeMeco Ryans, rookie head coach, is going to have a good game plan ready to go, and the Texans are going to get back in the win column here and end the Broncos' win streak. These are 2 teams fighting for their lives in the closing 6 weeks of the season for a playoff spot. Should be a really fun game to watch. 2 teams that kind of didn't look very good at all early in the year, especially the Broncos, of course, with one of the historically worst defenses of all time. But that team has sewn up all of their holes, it seems, and they look terrific the last month and a half. I expect this to be a very good game. I'm going to go ahead and take the Texans as my first home winner. Chargers at Patriots. Well, the Patriots are a crapshoot, to say the least. They can't do anything right. Bailey Zappe's not going to do crap against really an overrated Chargers defense. It's overpaid and overrated. Joey Bosa, a shell of his former self. Eric Kendricks, not nearly as agile as he used to be. He is not the premier linebacker we once saw. So very disappointed in how Eric Kendricks has turned out. He was a great player for a number of years. Obviously, I saw him a lot because he played for Minnesota. Sucks to see his play decline, but that's just where we're at. With that being said, Chargers are the better team, and the Patriots are not going to stop Justin Herbert enough. All right? Justin Herbert's a great player. Quentin Johnston's terrible. The receiving core drops too many balls. Even Keenan Allen drops big-time passes. But sooner or later, things are going to even out for the Chargers. And they're not losing to the Patriots. It's not happening. Chargers on the road get the win. Cardinals at Steelers. Steelers offense, I think, is going to be feeling themselves this weekend. 2 weeks without Matt Canada. It's going to be even better than the week before. Maybe not in yards, but I think they put up a lot more points against this suspect Arizona defense. I expect the Steelers to kind of easily run away with this one at home. Steelers get the road and get the win at home. Dolphins at Commanders. Dolphins throttle teams that are worse than them. I expect them to do the same thing to the Commanders. This isn't going to be much of a contest. Dolphins get the win on the road against the Commanders. Now we're in the 4 o'clock slot. Panthers at Buccaneers. Panthers suck. Buccaneers not that good either, but Tampa is still fighting for a playoff spot. Carolina on the verge of elimination. And I think this game is going to do it for them. I have the Buccaneers beating the Panthers at home. Eagles-Niners. This should be game of the year. This is the Eagles' biggest test. They've had quite the gauntlet the last several weeks playing the Chiefs and the Bills. And now they have the 49ers. This is going to be a phenomenal game. I'm very excited. Last week, Eagles-Bills was probably game of the year or damn near close to it. This game has the potential to be even better. An NFC Championship rematch, this time with Brock Purdy hopefully healthy the entire game. And if that is the case, I think the 49ers win. I said it in the offseason. I said it mid-season. I said it in the beginning of the season. I'm going to say it now in late season. I'm going to stick to my guns here. The 49ers are my favorite to go to the Super Bowl. I think they're going to get the job done against the number 1 record Philadelphia Eagles. They will be seeing a 2 in the loss column after this Sunday. Last 4 o'clock game, Browns-Rams. Joe Flacco's first start, not going to be great. Rams, in my opinion, get the win here. They just throttled the Cardinals, feeling good about themselves. Cardinals suck, of course, but a win is a win in the National Football League. I think the Rams going to continue to look better this week. Obviously not vying for a playoff spot, at least not seriously. But they should get in here and get the dub against a struggling Browns team at home. So Rams with the home victory to close out the 4 o'clock slot. And now into prime time. Packers hosting the Chiefs. And guys, you ready for this sizzling one? The Packers defense has been very good against the Chiefs offense the last 2 times they've played over the course of the many years. I'm going to take the Packers at home at Lambeau Field at 8:20 p.m. on Sunday night against the Chiefs. I know what this means. The Packers are going to lose because every time I pick the Packers to lose, they win. Every time I pick the Packers to win, they lose. But I have faith in Lambeau Field and the Green Bay Packers. Jordan Love playing his best ball of the season. He's been terrific the last several weeks, and I expect much of the same against Kansas City. Very excited for this game. I'm going to take the Packers to win at home. And finally, Bengals-Jags on Monday Night Football. This would have been a great game if Joe Burrow was healthy. Instead, he's hurt, and the Jaguars are going to walk out of here with a fairly easy win. Jacksonville at home over the Bengals. That wraps up my game picks. I got a lot of editing to do to make that shorter. And now time to break down kind of what's going on with my new setup. Obviously, you guys can tell the setup's different. The display case is gone. I was tired of that reflection in the background. So now I got this right here. Let me know what you guys think of that. I like it a lot. If you guys think it's better, let me know. If you guys think the other display case is better, then let me know about that as well. But I am very excited about this new setup. I got a new MacBook to capture my audio video so I can actually see myself right now. I'm looking at myself in the camera. First time I've been able to do that ever. So very excited about that. And as far as video game gameplay goes, you guys will be seeing all of that over on the Pocket Passer Gaming. That's TPP Gaming is the name of the channel. Obviously, that's the acronym for the Pocket Passer. TPP Gaming over on YouTube. Go check it out. That's where all my Madden videos will be uploaded from here on out, and any other games that you guys might suggest that I play if I have them. I probably won't go out and buy more games for this, at least not until I actually make money off this channel, which is yet to be done. So go ahead and go subscribe to TPP Gaming, also on YouTube, for your Pocket Passer video game Madden content. You will be seeing my playoff game and my head-to-head seasons Road to the Super Bowl YouTube series. You'll be seeing the playoff game over there. I got to go edit that right after I upload this video. I appreciate each and every one of you for watching. Like I said, go check out the gaming channel. Go follow me on Instagram and TikTok for more content at the Pocket Passer. I appreciate each and every one of you for watching, and as always, I will see all of you in the next video.